Time now for Media Watch with Emma James. And Emma, you've been looking, of course, at online reactions to this Friday morning's attack at rush hour in London.
Yes, absolutely. And as we've been reporting here on France 24, threat level has now been raised to critical, which means not that it's just likely, but that it's actually expected imminently that there could be another attack. And no doubt the reason for that is because they are still looking for the man who carried out that bombing. But there's very much a stiff upper lip in evidence in London. Sadiq Khan releasing a message online saying that Londoners will never be intimidated or defeated by terrorism. A lot of people very taken as well with the story of this gentleman, Peter Crowley, who was on board the train when the fireball ripped through the carriage. Some of his hair, as you can see, was singed off, but he went to work instead of going to hospital. And a lot of people really think that that embodies the British fighting spirit, if you like. This image is proving very popular online. I hope you're not too shocked by it. It is a little bit cheeky. To terror from London is the tweet, and it's the London tube map reimagined with a special message for terrorists from London there. However, one thing that Londoners have been particularly outraged by, and British authorities too, is the intervention on Twitter of the US President Donald Trump, who has been tweeting a lot about this terror attack. Before anyone knew who it had been carried out by, of course now it has been claimed by the Islamic State group, he tweeted this: "Another attack in London by a loser terrorist. These are sick and demented people who were in the sights of Scotland Yard, must be proactive." Now the implication there is that he has information about the investigation, something that has been denied by the Metropolitan Police. The British Prime Minister Theresa May also had some fairly strong words for him, saying that she never thinks it is helpful for anyone to speculate on what is an ongoing investigation. Fairly unequivocal stance from her. She is normally extremely measured, to say the least, in her public statements. Interestingly, her former chief of staff as well also used that same word, unhelpful. True or not, and I'm sure he doesn't know, this is so unhelpful from the leader of our ally and intelligence partner, says Nick Timothy. Now, in response to that, the British BuzzFeed UK editor Janine Gibson had this to say. For those who don't understand the British understatement, if you like, she says unhelpful is British for incredibly stupid. Now, Donald Trump did go on to tweet some more strange tweets, really. This one in particular talking about cutting off the internet in order to stop terrorists being able to recruit online. The other thing that people are picking up on is the difference in his reaction this time compared with when there was homegrown terror in Charlottesville. It took him days to react to that when there was violence at a white supremacist rally. He then went on to blame both sides, went back on that, has now decided that both sides were to blame once again, and a lot of people really feeling that it is because of the fact that this was carried out by a white supremacist, and whenever it is an Islamic fundamentalist who is believed to have carried out a terror attack, he is much, much quicker to come to the fore and make his statements online.
OK, let's move on now. And scientists have been getting rather misty-eyed over the end of a rather special space mission.
They have indeed. Not many of us get to go out in a blaze of glory at the end of our career, but Cassini, the spacecraft that's been flying around Saturn and beaming back images for the last 2 decades, did just that today, burning up in the atmosphere of Saturn. NASA tweeting this amongst many other tweets about the spacecraft. Cassini showed us the beauty of Saturn. It revealed the best in us. Now it's up to us to keep exploring. And the team who were along for the ride with this one, certainly there were quite a few lumps in the throat when the news came that it was no more. Take a look at this.
This has been an incredible mission, an incredible spacecraft, and you're all an incredible team. I'm going to call this the end of mission. Project manager off the net.
So as you can see, a lot of people very happy indeed, but also quite emotional too. And that wasn't where it ended. Earl Mays spoke again later on to really wax lyrical about this spacecraft as though it was a very much beloved colleague. Take a listen.
There are times in this world when things just line up. when everything is just about perfect. A child's laugh, a desert sunset, and this morning. Thanks and farewell, faithful explorer.
So very nice words indeed. I hope someone says something as nice about me as that. Bill Clinton was actually the president when this spaceship was launched, or spacecraft, I should say. He tweeted his regards today, saying, 20 years since you launched, and you've brought us a universe of understanding. And possibly the news that some people who like little green men would be very pleased to hear. It is thought that this has brought us the most proof that there could be life out there. Chris Hadfield, who's undoubtedly the most famous astronaut in the world after his David Bowie renditions in space, said simply this: "See ya, Saturn." And it's been enchanting normal people as well, although this gentleman does describe himself as a geek and a nerd. He says, "This was one of my favourite photos from Cassini." And you can see there that that tiny blue dot beneath the rings of Saturn, that is actually Earth. There's a little white arrow pointing to it. I hope you can make it out. And that really does put things into perspective very nicely indeed. There is always some cynicism out there, especially on Twitter, though. This gentleman saying that in many ways, Cassini died a true academic's death, crushed by overwhelming pressure after 20 years on the same project with no way home, which is a little bit sad. And finally, this cartoon is being shared a great deal online. It's from Banks. It's featured in the Financial Times today, and it's Cassini Mission Control, all of them wearing black armbands, and it really does feel like NASA is in mourning today.
Emma James with Media Watch. Thank you very much.